John Smith, known as White Wolf, was a Chippewa chief believed to have lived over 130 years. He witnessed his people's world transform, from buffalo hunts to railroads cutting through sacred lands, yet remained a guardian of tradition. Bonnie and Clyde, the legendary outlaw couple, were not just bank robbers but masters of self-promotion. They took staged photos with guns and stolen money, distributing them to newspapers, which fueled their Robin Hood reputation during the Great Depression. Annie Oakley, the Wild West's greatest sharpshooter, revolutionized marksmanship. She once shot a playing card midair, cutting it in two. A fierce advocate for women's rights, she even offered to train female sharpshooters for the U.S. military. She wasn't just a performer. Annie Oakley proved that skill had no gender. At age 15, she defeated famed marksman Frank Butler in a shooting competition. He later became her husband and manager, standing in her shadow as she captivated audiences worldwide. An aging veteran, likely from the Battle of Waterloo, 1815, sits beside his wife. His worn coat and medal hint at the price of war. While history remembers generals, men like him carried its burden for life. Abraham Lincoln shares a moment with his son Tad, who was known for his playful antics in the White House. Despite leading the nation through the Civil War, Lincoln remained a devoted father, showing a rare glimpse of warmth amid national turmoil. Dressed in a sharp suit, Al Capone, America's most infamous gangster, controlled Chicago during Prohibition. Despite his violent empire, he presented himself as a businessman, but his downfall came through tax evasion, not bullets. A rugged gold prospector holds his pan filled with nuggets, a symbol of the mid-19th century's California gold rush. While a few struck it rich, most endured hardship, fueling the westward expansion of America. A young woman, elegantly dressed, raises a glass in a dimly lit room. Her surroundings suggest a late 19th or early 20th century setting, possibly a burlesque performer or a socialite defying societal expectations. Three working-class men, likely blacksmiths or metalworkers, pose in their worn aprons. Their tools and weathered faces reflect the grueling labor of the late 19th or early 20th century, an era when craftsmanship built the modern world. The 19th U.S. President, 1877 to 1881, Rutherford B. Hayes, banned alcohol in the White House under pressure from his wife, Lemonade Lucy. His controversial election victory marked the end of Reconstruction, reshaping post-Civil War America. Albert Einstein sits by the ocean, casually dressed in shorts and sandals, ignoring formalities. He famously hated socks, believing they were pointless since his big toe would wear holes in them anyway. Ulysses S. Grant in his field camp during the Civil War. He was so composed under fire that during the Battle of Shiloh, he calmly ate breakfast while artillery shells exploded around him. The famous portrait of George Washington, painted by Gilbert Stuart in 1796, became the basis for the image on the $1 bill. However, Washington disliked sitting for portraits and only endured artists out of a sense of duty. Marilyn Monroe relaxing with a book. Despite her Hollywood bombshell image, she was an avid reader who loved Dostoevsky. Her personal library contained over 400 books, including the brothers Karamazov. A portrait of a man in a tricorn hat and leather jacket. If he was a Revolutionary War veteran, he may have lived through the era of George Washington and witnessed the birth of the United States. A Native American in traditional attire. Unlike Hollywood stereotypes, warriors of the Great Plains used feathers not just for decoration but as symbols of honor, much like modern military medals. Marilyn Monroe, long before reaching global fame, enjoys a snowy day in the 1940s. Known then as Norma Jean, her natural charm and smile were already unmistakable. Elizabeth Taylor, captured in her early 20s, poses during a 1950s USO tour. Her striking beauty and signature violet eyes made her a favorite among troops stationed abroad. A young George Armstrong Custer poses confidently in his cadet uniform during his days at West Point. Though later infamous for his defeat at Little Bighorn, he graduated last in his class of 1861, yet rose rapidly in the ranks during the Civil War. This colorized portrait shows Eugen Sandow, often considered the father of modern bodybuilding. His physique was so admired in the early 20th century that he was even displayed in museums as a living statue. Lewis Powell, one of the Lincoln assassination conspirators, photographed in custody in 1865. His calm demeanor contrasts with the gravity of his crime. He attempted to assassinate Secretary of State William H. Seward the same night Lincoln was shot. Abraham Lincoln, photographed shortly before his assassination in 1865. His tired eyes and gaunt features reflect the toll of leading a nation through its bloodiest conflict. This surreal image from the 1800s features famed circus performers Lavinia Warren and her husband General Tom Thumb, both little people, posing with their giant manager Anna Swan, who stood over 7 feet tall. A seemingly ordinary American street hides a grim past. Signs advertising auction and Negro sales reveal the brutal reality of Charleston, South Carolina, a major hub of the slave trade. Thousands were bought and sold here, their lives reduced to transactions. A glimpse inside a Wild West brothel. Bordellos were not just places of business but also hubs of power, wealth, and scandal. Women here lived on the fringes of society, yet some managed to amass small fortunes and influence.
I like to think for myself, just learn yourself doing it better than people. You have to learn them and doing it in house.
Life on the Wild West was brutal. This rare photograph captures the infamous Hatfield family, one of the most feared clans in American history. In an era where justice was taken into one's own hands, even children learned to wield weapons. Tense diplomacy on the frontier. Native leaders, including Standing Elk and Running Horse, meet with U.S. officials. These talks often preceded violent conflicts, as treaties were repeatedly broken and ancestral lands were lost.